the question for you. Do the horses get to go on the podium?
Don't think so, but we are hoping to get one in for an interview a bit later on just to see how they feel about the gold.
They do. And what about a medal? Do they get a medal? And are they the only animals in the Olympics?
Look, there's questions. Look, I'm going to have to... I'll get my people on answering these questions for you, Mick.
I've got plenty more.
You can hear the questions, me, Scott. I want answers. I want them now.
How about Andrew Hoy? Is he? He's one of the finest.
Shipper, is he? You
What is it?
Shipper.
He's a great bloke, and he's done very well. And quite frankly, he could win that event side saddle. He's made it his own.
And a few medals, hasn't he? Old Hoy, I think he got gold at Atlanta.
Yes, he has.
How'd he go in Barcelona? He got one in Barcelona too. Mate, he's got it. Barcelona.
He's backed up every limps for the last 12 years, I believe.
He's a legend, Mick.
But I tell you what, the equestrian team will be partying hard tonight down at the Olympic Village. Which, as fortune has it, we can help because we've got a very special guest on the line.
Who we got?
Who might know exactly what's going on. Graham Richardson.
Oh! Richardson, Mayor of the Olympic Village, thanks for joining us on Going for Bronze on Triple M. How are you, mate?
It's been a great pleasure. I am very well, as a matter of fact.
Are you ruling with an iron fist, Richo?
No, I'm doing what I always do. Soft and gentle persuasion is always the best method.
Oh, the cuddliest mayor in the history of the Olympic Village, they call him.
Is that what they call it? Now, listen, there's been a few stories about fake identification passes and whatever. How do we really know it's you, Graham?
Well, you see... Obviously, I'm not involved in any way, and it can't be much of an industry. They've only faked Thorpe and Hackett. If they haven't faked mine, they're not fair dinkum.
well, apparently, Thorpe had to get in by showing his gold medals, and I'm thinking if that's the only pass out you've got at the Olympic Village, there's going to be a lot of athletes sitting around at the front.
Actually, that didn't really happen like that, but... I guess it makes better press, but all that happened was when his pass didn't show up, they obviously let him in, they knew who he was.
Yeah. Has there been any trouble to date, Richo? How's things on the ground there?
Oh, you get your bits of trouble. There's a bit of minor stealing and larceny going on, but I suppose if you've got 16,600 residents and 7,000 staff, you're going to get a couple with larcenous intent who do that sort of thing.
But as yet, you're getting away with it?
No, so far, so good, as they say.
And if you had to name one, is there a village idiot?
Have you spotted one? You must have.
I think the class clown of the chef's commission meetings is the bloke from Korea.
What's he up to?
He just goes on forever, every meeting.
Oh, that'd be G.U. Suck, wouldn't it, from Korea?
They call him Rocky. And he's a star. He goes on all the time. I think when it comes to taking the delegation that's likely to cause trouble, Cuba are way in front. I don't know why, but they are.
Yeah.
Otherwise, mate, it's all peaceful. As soon as they see me coming, they all go to water.
As they would. Mate, we haven't seen too much of the village itself. I mean, how permanent is it? Is it demountables and portaloos, or what's the deal?
They're about, in round figures, a third of the place is temporary. Right. And all of those buildings, they'll be going out. Most of them have been sold to mining companies and the like, so they'll just disappear after the games. And then the developers will just keep building Newington until basically it hits the freeway. It's a private enterprise suburb, and all the houses that they're living in now, as soon as they're vacated, the people who bought them, and most of them have been bought, the owners just move in.
I don't know if anyone wants to move in there, Richo, after all these rumours we've heard about 100,000 condoms floating around. I'm assuming...
There's a certain amount of bonkage going on, but that does happen in the world.
100,000 condoms, that's you taken care of, Richo. Do the athletes get any?
Well, see, I hand them out. I just said, and how many do you want, madam?
I mean, what's going on? I'm in the wrong business. What's going on down there? Is it some kind of massive gangbang?
Apparently.
Well, I mean, you take a lot of 20-year-olds, and as they say, the prime of their life and totally fit.
Yep.
and their event ends, and you say, wacko, all those years of depriving yourself of every good thing in life are over.
Yeah.
What do you reckon they're going to do?
Yes.
I don't need
I tell you what
thinking
they're going to do,
music.
Mick. They're going to do what you do on an hourly basis.
Oh, I think so. It's going to be PNV. Oi, oi. Hey, listen, when we were watching the march in Richo, we were trying to pick, because the condom story was a big one. We were trying to pick who would be, which team looks like they're going to get through the most. The Danish team actually got our... I mean, there were a couple of guys in there that I would have turned for.
Yeah.
And some of the girls were absolutely gorgeous. Is there any way we can track down...
Here in the village, we have a different rating system, obviously.
Right.
We have the Hungarians as the top of the class.
Right.
With the Italians coming a close second.
Is that right? And you are keeping tabs?
Oh, well, I mean...
It's a mayoral duty.
Purely with the eye. I mean, obviously, you've got to make sure that you're casting a fine eye over all the inhabitants.
Yeah, it's part of your duties.
But mate, those Hungarian girls, they are pretty stunning.
And I will save one for me, Richo.
Yeah.
Hey, now also...
That wouldn't be enough for you.
And the blokes are pretty well Hungarian too, I hear.
Oh.
Hey, Richo, we've also heard there's the biggest McDonald's ever set up in Australia inside the village, and they're expecting to sell 500,000 burgers during the run. Have you heard about this?
We've got two McDonald's in the village.
Right.
One really big, one not quite as big.
Because, I mean...
every morning you come into the dining room, you see all these really fit athletes who you expect to be, eating lettuce leaves and all the rest of it, hoeing into the Big Macs at 100 mile an hour.
But 500,000 hamburgers, I mean, I've seen Laurie Oakes order that at a drive-through. I mean, I don't see how that necessarily makes it the biggest. And I'm pretty much sure that'd make you Mayor McCheese.
I tell you what, it'd mean I'd be very hard to defeat for the job, wouldn't it?
It would indeed.
Richard, someone wanted me to ask you, basketballers, are any of them staying in the village? Because we thought there might be a bedding problem trying to, accommodate someone who's 7'10".
I tell you what, some of these girls are that big.
Really?
And they stag you. I mean, the distance between their knees and their it's like it's yards. It's yards. I can't get over it.
So to speak.
Look, I've turned a bright shade of scarlet.
I know. Richo, we thought we were rude, but you take the cake, buddy. Hey, before we go, Richo, is there anyone sort of documenting anything to do with the village? Because, as I said, it's been largely unseen in press and any media, really.
Yeah, but it's unseen for a reason. I mean,
Yes.
You guarantee the athletes' privacy, so we don't let the cameras in.
Yeah.
There is an internal video being done.
So that we can all get a look at what the digs are like and all that sort of thing.
Yeah, when it's over, everyone will get a fair look.
Yeah.
What time is lights out tonight?
For me,
No,
I just never stop. 24 hours a day.
Oh.
You find the athletes, though, about 10 o'clock sees most of them out.
All right, Richo, and hey, that golf cart we saw you pictured in the other day.
Pretty nifty, eh?
Yeah, I hope you get that rocking tonight.
We'll do what we
Go
can
hungry.
do. Ta-da.
See you later, Richard. Thanks, man. Coming up, your...
Right. Thank you.
You got that right,
Fitzy.
You got that right.
And you're doing a good job, buddy.
Oh.
Pushing those buttons. He looks like he's landing 4 planes at once.
He does.
Doesn't he?
It's air traffic control and the fingers never left the hands.
Yeah, it's great stuff. Hey, this is a great moment for us. We got up very early for...
Too bloody early, Mick.
too early for us to go and meet a dead set legend, one of the greatest swimmers of all time, one of the greatest Olympians of all time, a bloke who... Well, he was an Olympian in 84, 88, and 92. I'm talking about Matt Biandi.
Yep.
He held the world record for the 100 free for over 5 years. He won 11 medals all up, and one of them happened to be bronze. And that was enough for us to get our ass out of bed, go down to the Coca-Cola Radio Shack, set up down at Darling Harbour. We were in a pretty small studio, and me and Billy flipped for the bad mic. I got it, so you might hear me on something that sounds like a string in a tin can from the next room.
Oh, this is Mick
But
Molloy.
look, it didn't affect things because we were just bloody excited to have the bloke. And here's how it went with Matt Biandi.
Matt Biandi, thanks very much for joining us at the Triple M microphone.
My pleasure. Glad to be here.
Have you been enjoying the game so far, mate?
Definitely. One of the greatest experiences for me, having been an athlete in 3 Olympics, is to come to a games and not have to compete.
Yeah.
I'm running from the train, trying to pick up a VB before I can get in my seat.
Good man.
In time for the start. So I really relish that opportunity.
Matt, how many medals have you won in total? Olympic medals?
Only 11. Eight gold. Yeah.
8 gold?
8 gold, a silver, and 2 silver and a bronze.
Fabulous.
Only 1 bronze. That must be very disappointing for you. I suppose you keep that one on the mantelpiece and all the others in the bottom drawer. Am I correct?
They're in a museum in Chicago. The first national organization to recognize me as a collegiate swimmer was the National Italian American Sports Hall of Fame. And of
Fabulous.
course, Biandi is a Paisano name, and I felt very good about donating them for public display. And the organization raised a lot of money for underprivileged kids and scholarships so they can attend universities and get an education. So they're continuing to give in the Olympic spirit as they gave to me rather than never seeing the light of day. So
I think it's a fantastic idea because otherwise they're hanging in a drawer at your place and only people who come around and say, Matt, show us your medals, mate.
Well, my dad was so pleased with the gold medals, he wanted to get them bronzed and hang them on the mantle, but I...
Well, we would have loved that. The name of our radio show, by the way, is Going for Bronze. We're celebrating any achievement, basically.
I feel like I earned a bronze just getting out of bed this morning.
Absolutely. What did you get your bronze in, by the way?
The 200-meter freestyle.
200-meter freestyle.
Yeah.
One of the interesting Matt Biondi stats was that Turetsky used videos of Matt Biondi swimming freestyle to teach Alex Popov how to swim freestyle. Is that true?
Bootleg video.
Bootleg videos. Have you caught up with...
Unsanctioned video.
Have you caught up with Turetsky
Taken by a submarine.
The Kursk.
It'd be good if they'd taken it while you were doing your Man from Atlantis. Then he'd be stuffed. Wouldn't he? In fact, that should be an Olympic event. The 100-metre Man from Atlantis. Everyone in yellow togs going like the clappers.
It's a lovely compliment, though. I mean, for the guy to say, look, because he was a backstroker, wasn't he?
He was a backstroker, and he flipped over.
And he flipped over, and they said, you got no idea how to do this. Have a look at this video of Matt. That's how you do it.
Yeah, no matter how many times I won or lost, one of, I think, my greatest accomplishments in swimming was to change the way people thought about swimming freestyle. And if you see Thorpe, the way he stretches, the way his hands stay at the surface and his roll, his tempo is quite a bit slower than the other swimmers. And that was something that I brought to swimming just through my coaching and my own natural feel for the water. And so it's quite a compliment that they would target me and seek to break down my stroke and try to mimic that. Unfortunately, he did what I did and then a little bit extra.
Pain in the ass.
There's an interesting 100 metres race on tonight. Is it Popov, Van den Hoogenberg? Have a go. God, you say it.
Van den Hoogenbaan.
Yes.
You've been commentating
the Flying
already.
Dutchman.
The
That's
Flying
what,
Dutchman.
there you go.
There you go. We've sorted it out.
There's a headline tomorrow.
And Clem, you got any thoughts on that?
Well, the interesting drama is that Popop's got to be the favorite going into the meet.
Yep.
And then Klim breaks the world record, so that puts him the favorite.
Yep.
And then Van Hogenbaan swims incredible 200 free, so he's going to be in the hunt. And then, of course, there's the American Gary Hall Jr., who's kind of hanging on, trying to get a medal.
And not without a chance either.
Well, I think he's got an outside chance at this point. I mean, he's been sitting on the sidelines a long time. They had a disappointing relay the first night.
Yep.
And I look for the center of the pool to be between the first three that I mentioned and probably Gary Hall fourth.
Yeah.
It's going to be worth its price of admission, that's for sure. And I'm just glad I'm not in that final.
Can I ask you, Matt, about the 4x100 metres relay? That was a really exciting race, and we noticed there is like this rivalry between the Australian and the American team, and I don't know whether it's felt by the swimmers, but the press certainly accentuated it. And by the time the Americans got off, they were pretty much, stoking this fire from the very beginning, to the point where when Australia won the 4x100, we saw the guys doing air guitar to kind of intimidate the American side, who I think was it Hall who'd said we're going to smash you like guitars, and it was reported as such. Was this going on in your day? Is this part of sport per se?
Definitely, intimidation and hype in the media. That's been going on since the first newspaper was printed.
Yeah, because this is a story I heard, and you might be able to confirm whether it's true or not. It was reported widely in a paper here some time ago. And it was an American swimmer who was swimming in a lane next to an Australian swimmer a couple of Olympics ago. And he broke the start deliberately, swam under the rope to get to the side, and as he went through the Australian swimmer's lane, he urinated and then told him, there you go, you're going to swim through that. And then they stood on the blocks together, and the guy was going, you know, I mean, that's a story I heard.
Is
it likely? Could it have happened? Do we need to put crystals in the Olympic swimming pool?
I think it's highly unlikely that that would have happened.
Was it you?
Particularly because the suits we wear are so small. You just,
Yeah.
you know, the only way you can relieve yourself is to get that suit off.
Coming up, more from Matt Biandi with Billy and Mick. It's Going for Bronze on Triple M.
G'day Australia, I'm Kathy Freeman, and the only reason I run so fast is so I can get home in time to listen to Billy and Mick on Going for Bronze, right here on Triple M. Excuse me, a bit of a frog in the throat. That's right, and I believe we're halfway through an animated discussion with one Matt Biandi we had this morning down at Coca-Cola headquarters. And this is the point at which I asked him, do American swimmers get treated as stars back home like Australians do here?
Definitely not.
No.
Definitely not. The swimming takes front stage every 4 years for the first week of the Olympics.
It's incredible, isn't it, for a country that exalts its sportsmen and women?
Well, there's so much competition for sporting venues and for television time. You know, we have our big three, baseball, football, and basketball, and they dominate every year.
Yep.
People put that aside for 7 days and focus in on swimming, and then it's back to business as usual,
Yeah.
which is, you know, a double-edged sword. It's nice that we can have a brush with fame and have some chances for endorsements and sack some money away in the bank because we're the best at what we do.
Yep.
But then, you know, we don't pay the price socially. We can go out and be regular people and
Yep.
not have to get hassled and
That's right, as you said, go down and buy half a dozen eggs and not have to...
you can afford to come out of the toilet with your zipper down once in a while.
without it being on the front page the next day.
Nobody noticed.
I know you've probably been asked this a million times, but I'm still dodgy on the concept of a fast pool. What's involved with a fast pool as opposed to any other?
The technology available to produce these pools is definitely changing. There was an article in the paper recently, and it showed how the lane lines had floats in them, and the discs were designed in such a way to reduce the wave tension. The most important thing is they actually build the pool with the water level is higher than the deck around it, because the water molecules have the property of sticking together, so that there's kind of a meniscus over the top of the pool. So any wave...
That's surface tension, Mick.
Thanks, Billy.
So
I'm a radio dumb guy.
I figured that out as soon as I came in.
Matt, I simply wanted to boast that I knew that fact, okay? That's all it was, surface tension.
Okay.
Surface tension.
So when the waves are created by the swimmers, instead of bouncing off the wall and coming back, they actually
Spilling
flow
over.
over the top and down into the gutter and get recycled in.
And lane 4 seems to be faster than all the others.
I think it's a little shorter, that's why.
It's a little shorter.
That's Australian organisation, I think.
Indeed. Hey, Matt, you mentioned that the swimmers do finish up at the end of the first week. You got the good end of the stick there, didn't you? Because then you get to, relax and party on, like the track and fielders, they must be sitting around training. You got the good end of the stick regarding the Olympics.
Yeah, we've always been appreciative of not only the timing at the Olympics and getting your race over, but then you've got the free time to go out and enjoy yourself, and some of the best memories in sports are not really from the pool. They're the people that you meet and late at night and the random circumstance, and that's kind of true in life. You just get out, you do something, you make it happen, and you end up having a good time.
Yeah. Tell me, just before we let you go, one swimmer I did want to ask you about was Kieran Perkins. There's probably some parallels with your careers. Were you regarded as a veteran when you retired? Were they calling you veteran swimmer?
Somewhat over-the-hill veteran.
But
past his prime, came up a few times.
Well, we're wondering whether Kieran's a bit of a dark horse here. He's sort of not favourite for a third gold in the 1500, but he's got to be in with some sort of chance. What are your thoughts on Kieran's chances in that race?
Yeah, when you say third gold, I mean 1 gold is spectacular.
Yes.
2 is
Dynamite.
superhuman,
Yeah.
and 3 is almost
Yeah.
unachievable. Popoff is going for the same mark
Yep.
to have won in 3 consecutive Olympics the same event.
Yeah.
I think for Kieran Perkins, it's a matter of trying to go out. Swimming is best at this point in his career, and if he could come away with a medal,
Yep.
that would be a tremendous achievement. And if
Yeah.
not, he still hangs his head high.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Because he's been a great swimmer and he's done a lot for his country and for the sport.
Well, we've got our fingers crossed for bronze, Mick,
We
haven't
do. I think the most important thing tactically for Kieran is to wait at least an hour after eating before he jumps in the pool. If he does that, he's a dead set chance.
Otherwise,
really
he's going to cramp up, isn't he?
Were you a swim coach before you went to the radio?
I've got Tourette's syndrome. Don't worry about me. Hey, thanks for joining us today, Matt.
Matt, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Absolute
Thank you.
pleasure. You're a dead set legend, and
We hope you enjoy the rest of the games. Don't party too hard.
I'll take your advice.
Matt Biondi, thanks a lot, mate.
Okay.
Coming up on Going for Bronze, your chance to win $1,000. And Billy and Mick challenge you to identify the swimmer who beat Thorpe last night. This is Triple M.
G'day Australia, I'm Susie O'Neill, and I wish to Christ I didn't have to swim so much, because then I could hear more of Billy and Mick going for bronze right here on Triple M.
1 Billy Birmingham and 1 Mick Molloy.
hey,
You don't want 2 of us, I'll tell you that, mate.
I think one is plenty. How about that, Matt Biondi?
Mate, I tell you, one of over the years you and I have done, hardcore journalists like us, we have done more interviews than you can poke a stick at. But seriously, one of the
Nice
nicest, most accommodating people. He's probably going to have more microphones shoved in his face, or probably already has over the course of these games, but a very gracious, very nice man, an absolute legend. 5 gold medals in 1 games alone at Seoul.
He left looking like Mr. T. You know what I mean. He just walked out of there with the goodies.
Let him straight through customs. Hey, Mr. T, come on in. Come on. Yeah, straight through, bud.
That's the way. Hey, we had a bit of a convo with him after the interview. We were talking about
we were yarning on for ages.
We were. We'd still be there if we didn't have a show to do. But it was. He said some interesting stuff, because we asked him, if you remember, about the fast suits that Thorpe and those guys are wearing, and how it affected the swimming. And he said it is an impact, and it's a shame, because you'll never know whether his record would have been the same or not, because he was in the lolly bags.
I know.
Yeah.
That's what
You know what I mean?
Mick's dropped the thing. Mick's dropped the thing on them lolly bags, and I'm thinking. I said, what the is a lolly bag? Apparently, it's a Melbourne word for sluggos. Sluggos are what they're called here. I thought they were.
And he didn't know either of them. He's going, what? Sluggos? Lolly bags?
Lolly bags.
I'll have one of those. But he was great fun. And one of the things that came up in the interview...
He understood both names once we told him. He said, yeah, I'm going to be using that. Yeah, sure.
Indeed. Hey, one of the things we talked about in the interview was psychological games athletes play with each other.
Yep.
And if we've got time, are you in a hurry? I've got a quick story. This is true. How I myself affected a swim meet. And no, this is true, as a child when I was at school. And Pendle will know this is true, because we both went to the same school. I went to a school called Peninsula Grammar. Right. And I may have told the story before, so forgive me if you've heard it.
Yeah.
But we were a very good swimming school, and we had a inter-school swim meet against a school called Mentone, right? And we used to take it very seriously, and we didn't like Mentone because they used to give out scholarships in those days, which we used to, refer to as the professionals, and used to highly regard our amateur status. So anyway, I was put in charge of the cheer squad on the night, and of course, being from Peninsula, we used to have all the letters that spelt out Peninsula. So every time someone from Mentone won, I'd organised it so only those holding the letters that spelled out penis would hold them up. And I tell you what, we give them a whooping. So I myself have partaken in the psychological games that so many have.
You were the Laurie Lawrence of your time, weren't you?
I was. Hey, I've got another one quickly for you. This is true. I didn't plan it, but boy, were the opposition freaked out. I was in a junior school cricket side, and we were travelling to the ground, and our bus broke down. The cops came and said, don't worry, we'll give you a lift, put us in the back of a divvy van. When we rocked up at the ground, the other team standing there, we all get out the back of a divvy van. Don't think we didn't win that in an innings and a half. So there you go.
Oh, mate. Well, Mickey, speaking of mind games, I'd like to play one now. And our particular little mind game is called How the Would I Know? And it's a chance for people to win $1,000. $1,000 cash.
Whey!
And a greater variety of cash from the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, hundreds and thousands. So if you'd like to be part of our little competition, the number on the Going for Bronze hotline is 1-800-150-000. 5 simple questions, multiple choice. Any idiot could have a go.
Yeah, it's Going for Bronze, live around Australia on the Triple Games with Billy Birmingham.
That's right.
And Mick Molloy.
Hello.
And coming up, your chance to win $1,000. That's next.
On How the Would I Know?
Triple M. Games, and now it's time for...
It's time for How the Would I Know? Now, Mick, we're going to give away some cash here. We've got some good sports trivia questions, Olympic trivia questions. And the
how
lucky
much are they
person,
worth each?
Each question is worth $200. Not to be sneezed at. Multiply that by 5, you're going to get $1,000 if you get all 5 of them right. They're multiple choice. And guess who's going to be having a go?
Who?
Katie Sutcliffe from Croydon in Victoria. Are you there, Katie?
Billy, Mick, how are you guys? Great to be with you. Love the show. Fantastic.
Okay, that's all we've got time for today.
Thanks very much, Katie. Bye now.
Good on you, Katie. Hey, you ready to play?
Yeah, I'm ready to go, guys.
we got-
Going for bronze.
Well, you were our third caller.
You were our third caller, exactly, Katie. All right, mate, here you go. Tense up. Here comes the first question.
Okay.
Australia won gold today in the 3-day equestrian event. Who won silver? Was it the USA, Great Britain, Kazakhstan, or Please Take the Stand?
Great Britain.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
indeed.
200 clams jumps into the kick.
Yeah.
You are on fire. Check this one out.
Do you want to
Katie.
quit now?
No, let's go.
You want to play on?
We'll play on.
All right, the name of the swimmer who won silver in the 100-metre women's breaststroke final was A. Liesl Jones, B. Liesl Smith, C. Liesl Brown, or D. Liesl Von Trapp.
It was Liesl Jones.
Yay! Playing in the big uns.
We are now up to $400.
Wow.
Oh, gee, here
All
we go.
right, this is great, guys.
Kate, you're on fire here. You ready for this?
I'm ready.
Name the captain of the Kookaburras, the Australian men's hockey team. Is it Jay Stacey, Michael York? That was great, mate. You stuck it to him.
Yeah.
And he deserved it too, Lawsy.
Yeah,
he bloody deserved it.
Count for his hair.
But more important things to move on
Yep.
to, or sorry, should I say just as importantly, here he is, the madman himself, Mikey Robin. Mikey.
Hi, guys.
Mikey, what the hell is going on? What the have you been doing today? What are you talking about?
I've been lying on the couch in my wife fronts watching Olympics. Well, we've officially dropped the O at my place. It's just Olympics.
Well, Nick's actually shortened it to limps.
Oh, fair
So
enough.
we've got an even bigger edit going on here.
I mean, big news in the equestrian, but for me, the high point this morning was around about 10 o'clock in the men's 100 metres freestyle qualifying heats.
What's
Now,
happened?
What happened?
Well, see, for a start, there's so many blokes want to go in this race. There's 10 heats.
Yep.
So the first one off the first cab off the rank, there's only got 3 guys in it. Karim Bare from Nigeria, Fakhod Arapov. I'm not saying that one again.
No.
From Tajikistan.
Oh, top
and the man the nation's talking about, Eric Musimbani from Equatorial Guinea.
Now, why are they talking about him, Mike?
Well, mate, because first off, Karim, when he's on the blocks, slips and falls.
Right.
False start, disqualified. Fakhud slips and falls. False start, disqualified. Eric swims the 100 metres on his lonesome.
You're joking.
Yep, does a good time, a good minute outside world record time.
So he's cruising.
Has he finished?
Well, the best part was in the 25 metre where he seemed to go from freestyle to grandpa stroke. Right. He was about flapping around, and the underwater shot, the legs there, all over the shot. Fantastic.
And why was that? He just decided what? He didn't care.
Well, I think he was just showing off some of that fantastic Equatorial Guinea sporting skills we're mad crazy about.
Are they famous for it?
No.
They are now.
In fact, I did a bit of research on Equatorial Guinea. You know they are famous for, boys?
What?
The highest concentration of rare monkeys in Africa.
Is that right?
Yeah, bugger me.
Where?
Yeah.
Didn't see any of them at the opening ceremony.
No.
400,000 people there. Now, they've got 6 ethnic groups because there's 6 islands on the equator there.
Right.
Various tribes, the Boobies,
Yeah.
I'm serious.
Hang on.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Don't mind me. I'm just sniggering.
Titter, yeah.
The Fang people.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Fang people are big on carving. They're crazy for carving, the Fang people. And they've still got, on the mainland side, pygmies.
Get out of town.
Bugger me pygmies.
Bugger me.
Little Phil. It's actually called the Bugger me pygmies.
Are you sure they're not shaved monkeys? One of those rare monkeys?
They're one of the rare monkeys.
They were independent from Spain in 1968. They had 11 years of hideous military dictatorship, but now it's an open democracy. And their main products, boys, I know you're going to love this, coffee, cocoa oil, and undersea oil as well.
Right.
Nanas and coconuts. Beer is hideously expensive if you go there.
Right.
Lord.
But do ask for a malumba.
Hello.
Which is a brewed palm wine. And it's as cheap as chips.
Is that right?
I'm hoping that Eric back in the games village this afternoon, someone's got some malumba for him, and he's doing the dance to the flaming A's.
The 4-litre cask of Malumba. It's
BYO
coming out.
Malumba.
Hello, Australia. I'm Inga de Bruin.
Hang on a second, I'm Inga de Bruin. You're always Inga de Bruin. Why can't I be Inga de Bruin?
All right, then do it.
Thanks. Hi, Australia. I'm Inga de Bruin, and you're listening to Billy and Mick going for bronze on the Triple M network.
Earlier on Triple M, it's going for bronze, thanks to Coca-Cola cap off the games. Billy Birmingham, Mick Molloy, and Mikey Robbins.
Yes, indeed. We are. All three of us together. The Three Stooges.
Was
the
that
Three
some kind of-
Musketeers.
Is that some kind of roll call?
Present, sir. Yes, sir. Now listen, Mikey doesn't believe
Mate, no.
that it's Bruce McAvaney
Yeah.
next door. Fitzy, open the door and let him have a listen.
Look at this.
A special moment for Ireland as patio furniture becomes the first Irish swimmer.
That's...
Mate, I apologise. That is the master.
We've got no idea what he's doing there in this studio next to us. We thought he'd be out at the village doing something, but seems to be hanging around here a lot and spending a lot of time in here.
It's amazing. I always know when I'm in the vicinity of McAvaney because my nipples go rock hard. He has that effect on me. It's on most men. It's amazing.
It's a special feeling, Mikey.
While we're talking sexual,
Yes. Oh, here we go.
can I speak my first love affair of the games?
Yes.
My wife's understands this completely. I've fallen head over heels with Jing Yao.
Xing Zhao.
Jing Zhao, the tiny 50, I think she's 54.5 kilo weightlifter from the Republic of China.
Right.
I mean, attractive, yes.
Yeah.
Muscular, yes. Thighs could crack walnuts. Magic. But what really blew me away as I was watching her yesterday, hoisting weights into the air, they said she's going for the world record. I won't give the number here. You can look it up. But as I see the number come up for the world record, I go, that's what I weigh. And I'm thinking, this is something I've always wanted, a woman that can lift me over her head. Now, think about it. Like, so I'm not a tall man. I'm about 5'10".
All right.
Round the house, and I don't like getting on ladders.
Right.
Light bulb blows. Zing! Give us a hoist for your darn.
Give us a little bit.
Please, every day. You know, just think as she's vacuuming, I don't even have to get off the couch. She just lifts, moves it under.
I can hear it's weighing. Look, we got a dud light bulb here in the lounge room. No problem, Mick. Out you go.
Okay, put me down now. After day 3.
Is she still in the comp? Can I get a chance to have a look at her? And
Yeah, she's done the clean and jerk and the snatch, but I think she'll be back in the teams later on. And my eyes are glued.
yeah, sounds like she could be a favourite for the snatch. Don't you reckon? I'm not going to listen. Don't laugh.
Hey, that's his girlfriend you're talking
Yeah,
about.
Mate, you broke my heart.
Oh no, but all these clean and jerk snatch gags. You're not going to hear any of those here.
No.
Simply, what's going on?
What are you
What are
doing?
you
That's
looking
some
at?
kind of intricate sign language, or are you
Come on.
landing a plane?
Come on, you're allowed to talk, pal. You're allowed to interrupt us. What do you want?
You just looked at me and you've just gone, well, do something.
Oh, yeah, okay. Well, do something. What do you want to do?
Oh, I like
Beautiful. That's what we
Birmingham, Mick Molloy and Mikey Robbins.
And we're just letting people know we're going to take some calls, guys.
Yeah,
Are you up to taking some calls?
I'm ready to talk to the great public out there.
You've actually got a call here now.
Oh, really?
We do.
Oh, lovely.
This gentleman's name's John, I think.
John. Hello, John.
G'day, Mick.
Yeah.
And Mike, is it?
Yeah, that'll do, mate. Yeah,
It's
close
Mick
enough.
and Mikey and Billy, mate. You got the Three Stooges here, pal.
Pretty close, pretty close.
What's happening, John? What do we need to know, John? What are you calling us for?
Peter Van den Hoogen Band.
Oh,
Yeah,
Go off.
give that man
Well
a Coca-Cola
done.
pack.
Yep.
I heard he's engaged to Ingrid Van Bruin.
Inga Van Bruin.
Right.
Yeah, and she's not gonna lose the name. She's gonna hyphenate it.
So what's it going to be?
Ingrid Van Bruin Van den Hoogen Band.
Hang on. I think you got to put the hyphen in there as well. Try again with saying the word hyphen.
Ingrid Ingrid van Bruin-den Hugenbrand.
See, you can actually choke on that name.
You could.
It's a dangerous name.
People ask her for an autograph. She said, I'm sorry, I've got RSI.
So there you go. Well, thanks for
Thanks,
ringing
John,
up,
for
John.
that.
It was a wonderful little interlude on the program.
Absolutely.
And set the tone possibly for the next segment. We're canvassing. Come on, Australia, right round the country. Give us a hoy if there's anything of interest. Limp's side that you want to get off your chest or have a bit of a waddy-war about. We're right here. What's the number, Billy?
Oh, the number? 1-800-150-000. That's 1-800-150-000.
Yep, it's going for bronze live around the country on Triple M. It's going for bronze live around Australia thanks to Coca-Cola. Cap off the games of Billy Birmingham, Mick Molloy and Mikey Robbins.
Very live. Oh, magic.
Sometimes we don't even know we're going to air.
Oh, but that's the excitement of it, isn't it?
It is.
And listen, boys, it's just occurred to me, have we been travelling without a safety net today? Have we had an emergency song in case of a major up?
Oh, yes.
What have we had? We had Copperhead Road yesterday. Were we using the same one today?
We shouldn't think we'd make a new one, did you?
Oh, right. No, I see. Unless we have to use Copperhead Road, it remains the emergency song. Thanks for pointing that out.
I just say when we have a really bad show, we just put it on high rotation.
Yeah.
I believe that the backup is I Like It Both Ways by Supernaut.
Hello.
Take me
please, everyone.
Oh,
do your best.
Do your best.
Pass the Dutchie down the left-hand side was bad
Hang
enough.
on a
Thanks
second,
very
Billy.
much.
I've just about had a gutful. How old is that song? I reckon
It's
it must
older
be the
than me.
last.
It's older than I am.
Oh, well, there's the original, their musical youth did at the early 90s.
There you go. See, Mikey's on my side.
I reckon it's time to talk to a few punters. I love doing that, and I think we might have on the first line. It's young Mal. Are you there, Mal? Mal, are you there? No. No, I'm not. No.
Voice from
That was great.
No.
That was great.
Hey, quick, the emergency song.
Oh, how about Warren? Is Warren there?
Yeah, mate.
Hey, what's
How are you?
We're pretty good, mate. We're happening here. We're on the home stretch, and we want to talk to you about whatever you want to talk about, Was?
I got a question for Mick.
Yeah, he's right here.
Hey, Mick, if you had a chance to be an Olympian, what would you be?
Oh, gee, it's a hard one, but, you know, I've always had some kind of morbid fascination with Kerry Saxby's running shorts, or dare I say walking shorts.
Yep.
I like the look of things. I reckon I wouldn't mind whopping a pair of those lolly bags on.
Right.
And going for a weird-ass stroll.
Yeah.
Am I mad?
No.
Am I mad? I just find there's something about... I probably wouldn't enter the Olympics. I'd just
go for a stroll.
Just walk like that down the road to get a carton of milk.
Actually, Mick, the amazing thing is you can also roll a cigarette with your ass while you do it. Now, that's a look, isn't it?
You can read me like a book. That's your one-stop shop.
That is a talent that Mick would just love to have, I'm telling you.
I don't know. What about you boys? You got any favourites?
Oh, I've always fancied myself as a horse rider. It's just the look of fear in a horse's face as I approach.
We'd have to rule out the Shetlands. Billy, anything in terms of, you
always fancied myself as a bit of a weightlifter, me.
You have?
Yeah.
What would you lift? Like the standard weights or like,
Probably just, I'd pack with the fridge and stuff like that around.
Work up. Bit of bum crack showing out the back.
Bum crack showing
out
the top of the stubbies. Where would you like it, Luff?
I like it. Well, I hope we answered your question, Warren, and thanks for thinking of me.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, I might try out for the next Limps.
Why don't you?
If they're in an exotic location.
Absolutely. What about
Athens, mate?
Hello.
Who's next on the line?
No ass waggling around.
Where's Tony? Is Tony there?
Hello.
Hey, Tony.
Hello, how are you?
Oh, mate, we're happening. What's your story? What do you want to talk about?
I was trying to get some off my chest, mate. I'm watching Channel 7 during the Olympics, and I wouldn't mind seeing some actual Olympics with those ads that they're showing.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, mate, it's an ad festival.
It is an ad festival.
Hey, can I just point out the one that's creeping me out?
Yeah, go for it, Mikey.
I bet you I know what it is.
It's the woman on the beach, and then she turns up
The AMP.
20 years in the future.
What does she do?
She's on the beach.
time travelling.
She time travels, and there's another bloke. He's in an art gallery. Then he turns up 20 years. You know what I'm talking about, Tone? It's creepy. I mean, I imagine my version of it.
Yeah.
If it was to be about me, I'd be at a bus stop and go, "What's that smell of urine?" Hey, that's me. I'm you 20 years in the future. Things didn't quite work out.
Which one's bumming you out, Tony? Are you still there?
Yeah.
Which
the
one's...
thing that's upsetting me is I'm seeing more of Ned Haggard than I am of Grant.
The parents, yeah.
Yeah, nobody lives week's grandfather's on the bloody inside the goal. I'm not even seeing her.
Yeah, it's pretty funny watching Bruce, because I'm presuming now, am I right here, fellas, that the Channel 7 commentary we're seeing is not always live, in fact, largely not live?
Yeah, apparently.
Have a look at Bruce McAvaney dancing around the throws.
Oh, yeah.
Out to the things. And one more race to show you from the Aquatic Centre. Why don't we play that now? Like, studiously avoiding the word live. Throw to. Let's go out now to.
We've got Glenn on this line to talk to the boys as well.
Oh, Glenn.
G'day, how are you?
Good, Glenn. What are you on about?
Oh, I just rang up to tell you who really beat Thorpe the other night.
Who was it?
It was Peter Van Den Doogie Hauser, MD.
I wonder where he'd gotten to, the little fella.
Finally, we've got a winner.
Oh, jeez.
Well done.
I like it a lot. Thanks for...
Well done, Glenn, and
there,
thanks
Glenn.
to all those people for their calls, and we'll look forward to talking to you again soon.
And Mikey,
Yes, boy.
thanks for coming in today. You've put in a PB. We're happy to have you.
Yeah.
And can you do it again tomorrow?
Only if there's a beer.
Mikey, Equatorial Guinea, is there another one of these towns that you can find, drum a little bit of info for us?
I'm red hot for Chad.
Chad?
Chad, which was a hit by the Morels in the 50s.
That's right.
Red hot for Chad.
I like it. We'll
Cool,
talk
mate. Look
Chad.
forward to seeing you tomorrow, Mikey. Thanks a lot, mate.
Good on you, Mikey.
Yes, it's going for bronze live around Australia on Triple M, thanks to Coca-Cola.
Hey, look, earlier in the show, we actually caught up with Graham Richardson.
A good yarn with Richard.
We had a good yarn. We caught up with him in the Olympic Village, and here's how it went.
Graham Richardson, Mayor of the Olympic Village, thanks for joining us on Going for Bronze on Triple M. How are you, mate?
It's been a great pleasure. I am very well, as a matter of fact.
Are you ruling with an iron fist, Richo?
No, I'm doing what I always do. Soft and gentle persuasion is always the best method.
Oh, the cuddliest mayor in the history of the Olympic Village, they call him.
Is that what they call it? Now, listen, there's been a few stories about fake identification passes and whatever. How do we really know it's you, Graham?
Well, you see, obviously I'm not involved in any way, and it can't be much of an industry. They've only faked Thorpe and Hackett. If they haven't faked mine, they're not fair dinkum.
Well, apparently Thorpe had to get in by showing his gold medals, and I'm thinking if that's the only pass out you've got at the Olympic Village, there's going to be a lot of athletes sitting around out the front.
Actually, that didn't really happen like that, but I guess it makes better press. But all that happened was when his pass didn't show up, they obviously let him in. They knew who he was.
Yeah.
Has there been any trouble to date, Richo? How's things on the ground there?
Oh, you get your bits of trouble. There's a bit of minor stealing and larceny going on, but I suppose if you've got 16,600 residents and 7,000 staff, you get a couple with larcenous intent who do that sort of thing.
But as yet, you're getting away with it?
No, so far, so good, as they say.
And if you had to name one, is there a village idiot?
Have you spotted one? You must have.
I think the class clown
Yeah.
of the chef's commission meetings is the bloke from Korea.
What's he up to?
He just goes on forever, every meeting.
Oh, that'd be Jigu Sak, wouldn't it, from Korea?
They call him Rocky. And he's a star. He goes on all the time. I think when it comes to taking the delegation that's likely to cause trouble, Cuba are way in front. I don't know why, but they are.
Yeah.
Otherwise, mate, it's all peaceful. As soon as they see me coming, they all go to water.
As they would. Mate, we haven't seen too much of the village itself. I mean, how permanent is it? Is it demountables and portaloos, or what's the deal?
They're about, in round figures, a third of the place is temporary.
Right.
And all of those buildings, they'll be going out. Most of them have been sold to mining companies and the like, so they'll just disappear after the games. And then the developers will just keep building Newington until basically it hits the freeway. It's a private enterprise suburb, and all the houses that they're living in now, as soon as they're vacated, the people who bought them, and most of them have been bought, the owners just move in.
I don't know if anyone wants to move in there, Richo, after all these rumours we've heard about 100,000 condoms floating around. I'm assuming...
the amount of bonkage going on, but that does happen in the world.
100,000 condoms, that's you taken care of, Richo. Do the athletes get any?
Well, see, I hand them out, I just said, and how many do you want, madam?
I mean, what's going on? I'm in the wrong business. What's going on down there? Is it some kind of massive gangbang?
Apparently.
Well, I mean, you take a lot of 20-year-olds, and as they say, the prime of their life and totally fit.
Yep.
And their event ends, and you say, wacko, all those years of depriving yourself of every good thing in life are over.
Yeah.
What do you reckon they're going to do?
Yeah.
I don't need thinking music.
They're going to do what you do on an hourly basis.
Oh, I think so. It's going to be PNV. Oi, oi. Hey, listen, when we were watching the march in Richo, we were trying to pick, because the condom story was a big one. We were trying to pick who would be, which team looks like they're going to get through the most. The Danish team actually got our... I mean, there were a couple of guys in there that I would have turned for.
Yeah.
And some of the girls were absolutely gorgeous. Is there any way we can track down...
Here in the village, we have a different rating system, obviously.
Right.
We have the Hungarians as the top of the class.
Right.
Hello.
With the Italians coming a close second.
Is that right? And you are keeping tabs?
Oh, well, I mean...
It's a mayoral duty.
Purely with the eye. I mean, obviously, you've got to make sure that you're casting a fine eye over all the inhabitants.
Yeah, it's part of your duties.
But mate, those Hungarian girls, they are pretty stunning.
Hello, we'll save one for me, Richo.
Yeah.
Hey, now also...
That wouldn't be enough for you.
And the blokes are pretty well Hungarian too, I hear.
Oh.
Hey, Richo, we've also heard there's the biggest McDonald's ever set up in Australia inside the village, and they're expecting to sell 500,000 burgers during the run. Have you heard about this?
We've got two McDonald's in the village.
Right.
One really big, one not quite as big.
Because I mean,
every morning you come into the dining room, you see all these really fit athletes who you expect to be, eating lettuce leaves and all the rest of it, hoeing into the Big Macs at 100 mile an hour.
But 500,000 hamburgers, I mean, I've seen Laurie Oakes order that at a drive-through. I mean, I don't see how that necessarily makes it the biggest. And I'm pretty much sure that'd make you Mayor McCheese.
I tell you what, it'd mean I'd be very hard to defeat for the job, wouldn't it?
It would indeed.
Richard, someone wanted me to ask you, basketballers, are any of them staying in the village? Because we thought there might be a bedding problem trying to, accommodate someone who's 7'10". I
tell you what, some of these girls are that big.
Really?
And they stag you. I mean, the distance between their knees and the it's like it's yards. It's yards. I can't get over it.
So to speak.
Look, I've turned a bright shade of scarlet.
I know. Richo, we thought we were rude, but you take the cake, buddy. Hey, before we go, Richo, is there anyone sort of documenting anything to do with the village? Because, as I said, it's been largely unseen in press and any media, really.
Yeah, but it's unseen for a reason. I mean, you guarantee the athletes' privacy, so we don't let the cameras in.
Yeah.
There is an internal video being done.
What time is lights out tonight?
For me,
no,
I just never stop. 24 hours a day.
Oh.
You find the athletes, though, about 10 o'clock sees most of them out.
All right, Richo, and hey, that golf cart we saw you pictured in the other day.
Pretty nifty, eh?
Yeah, I hope you get that rocking tonight. Go hungry.
See you later, Richo. Thanks, mate.
Billy and Mick.
Going for bronze on Triple M. Thanks to Coca-Cola. Cap off the games of Billy Birmingham and Mick Molloy.
You nearly forgot the name of our show, Fitzy. That's a classic blunder, mate. That's almost a Copperhead Road, that one.
Yeah, sorry.
Now, Mickey boy, that naughty clock is about to say get out of here, boys. Coming up tonight, quick preview. What's the story? What's on?
Pendo's just handed us some sheets full of info.
On the case.
Hockey. The Aussie men's team, the Kookaburras, take on India tonight. It's their second game. They're looking for another victory after defeating Poland.
And what else are you going to see? Basketball? What's the story there?
Yugoslavia tonight. Yugoslavia.
Yeah. Are our chances of winning?
Tough game. Yugoslavia 96 silver medalists. So
and they have to win tonight.
They've got to win. It's a must.
You got to tell us where to put our money, Pendo. Otherwise, we're in trouble. Susie O'Neill's going to be going for gold in the 200 freestyle tonight.
Qualified passes.
Did she?
Yep.
Good girl. Justin Norris. Who the hell's Justin? He's in the final of the 200 butterfly. He's a bit of an Ashley Callis. We've never heard of him until this very moment. But good luck to you, Justin.
And hey, how about this one? Is this going to be the biggest match race in history?
It's a cracker.
Who is it? It's Clem. It's Popov. It's
Hugen.
That guy.
I just got Pendo on to say that. He's fallen for it.
Sucked in.
And what about this Thorpe, Hackett, Kirby and Kowalski Are they going for gold tonight in the 4x200?
They certainly are.
What's the Kirby story? He's the missing piece of the puzzle there. What do we need to know?
He's the oldest member there at 25 and was fourth fastest in the heats, in the trials. So
he's going to pull his weight?
So, yeah, should be able to do well there, I think.
Go Kirby.
Yeah, he's the Justin Norris of the team. In boxing, Richard Rolls starts his campaign in the 71-kilogram division. Softball, Australia's playing Canada tonight. And Mickey, one of your favourites.
Oh, look, I love it. The water polo. Someone's going to scalp me some tickets to this. It's going to be skinny dipping. The ladies out there, have you heard about their costumes?
No, what's the
They don't
story
stay
there?
on. They went through 10 pairs of costumes last night. They went for some, was it light fibre?
Yeah,
some high-tech
low friction, a non-skidding, non-traction sort of material.
And it went down 10 times. They had to send out for 10 pairs because it kept coming off. And there's
Kept
a big
ripping.
picture of a girl. It looks like she's come
you
through a
see-
shredder.
Can
Some
you
kind
see
of combine
McAvaney?
harvester.
I can see McAvaney. We've got some tit-flashing action.
We're out of here.
We're out of here. Bye.